Hey,
Okay.
everybody, you got the RV Wingman here. Thank you for joining me here on Wingman Nation. Hope you're doing well. If the background looks different, well, it is. It is because I am at the radio station getting ready to do an interview with a friend of mine. And we're going to get a market update, I think, with what's going on right now as summer is winding down. Most kids are back in school. And what's going on with the used RV market. So to find out, but you know what? Before we bring him up, I want to ask you to make sure that you have got your notifications are turned on the channel. Look down below, make sure you're subscribed and turn your notifications to all. That way, hopefully you'll get a bump. I'm hearing from a lot of people that said that they're not getting any notifications and something's going on with the algorithm. So make sure that you are subscribed and your notifications are turned to all. With that said, I want to welcome my friend Scott Stonehill from PPL. What's going on, Scott?
Oh, and everything's going great. How are you?
Well, things are good. I'm ready for some cooler weather. I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to complain too much about the weather. If we remember last summer, it was much hotter on a more consistent basis. So yeah, we're starting to touch those temperatures now, but it's been a little later in the season, so I'm not going to complain too much.
As an old guy, I think the summers are just harder and harder on me. But anyway, if someone hasn't heard of PPL, uh, I'm not sure where they've been because you guys have been around for a long time. What's the 60-second story about PPL, who you are, what do you do? And then I want to get into the current market conditions.
You know, PPL started 52 years ago. Honestly, a couple of guys, an Aggie and a Longhorn, got together. I guess they were both engineers of some type, but these guys got together and decided to help people with leasing out their RVs. And so, they got to doing that, and were very successful at it. And then some of their people that they were working with that were leasing their RVs out decided they wanted to sell them. So then we started listing RVs, and then we realized how lucrative that was. So we decided to buy a location and build a facility, and started with an RV dealership at that point. And from there, we've grown it from one location in Houston to now 5 locations. We had the second one in New Braunfels, Texas, the third one in Cleburne, Texas. Then we opened up one in Summerfield, Florida, outside of Ocala. And just recently, about a year and a half, a little over a year and a half ago, we opened up the one in El Reno, Oklahoma, near Oklahoma City, actually right next door to Yukon, home of Garth Brooks. So at least the boyhood home of Garth Brooks. So I always stay at I always stay at the hotel there on Garth Brooks Boulevard. So.
I didn't even know there was such a thing, but it doesn't.
There is. Yeah.
So PPL is the largest consignment RV dealer in the United States, and
yes,
that's quite a position to be in. You don't sell really new RVs. That's not your niche. Why do you not sell new RVs? And then we'll get into the current market conditions, because I know a lot of manufacturers would probably love for y'all to sell new RVs, but why do you stick just with selling used RVs and helping buyers buy great used RVs?
You know, our philosophy has been, and I think will continue to be, the fact that we want to be the best consignment dealer in the U.S. We want to be the best consignment dealer in the world, to be honest. And I think the secret sauce to what we do is through our consignment program and the way we help sellers exit the lifestyle. Some of them want to sell an RV because they don't want it anymore. They don't want to go camping anymore for a variety of different reasons. Some people, though, come to us because they want to sell their RV because they've been trying to buy a new one, or they've been trying to buy another pre-owned RV, and the trade value of theirs is not adequate, or they feel it's not adequate. So they come to our consignment program because typically, in more cases than not, we will get them a significantly a larger sum for their unit than what they would get on trade. And so they see that as an advantage, because then they can go back and negotiate on a new RV if new is what they want to own. Obviously, they'll go to a different dealer other than us and purchase new. But if they're looking for pre-owned, then we also have a large selection of pre-owned for them to shop with. and look at as well. So I think our consignment program is what differentiates us from the rest of the people out there. We have so much data available to us to let them know exactly what their unit will bring in the market. And I think that is the secret to our success, is the data that we have available to us that we can share with that seller and help them make a decision on what we should be asking for that product and what it'll bring in the marketplace for them.
One of the things that I think separates PPL from so many other places where you can consign your RV, and there's a lot of differences, but the biggest one is, if you sell my RV, you don't get paid until you sell it. And the more you get from my RV, if you're selling my RV, the more you make. So the incentive is for you to get as much money for sellers as you possibly can, because that, I mean, it's a win-win deal. The incentive is on you to find that buyer that's going to pay the most amount of money at the, high market if you can get it.
Yes, and that's absolutely true. We pride ourselves on knowing the market really, really well. We have a lot of information that tells us, let's just say I have a fifth wheel. So my particular make model of fifth wheel, I've got a 2020 Cedar Creek fifth wheel. So if we plug my unit into the system, it's going to come back with all the units that we have sold, not just Cedar Creek's, but other makes and models that are similar to Cedar Creek and that particular floor plan, that particular year model. And it will give us a really close idea of what those units are not just selling for in the market, but what they're selling for recently in the market. So we get a really good gauge of where we should price that unit to start with in order to get a lot of activity on that unit on our website. And that's the information we can provide to our sellers so that they can make good decisions on pricing as well. There's a lot of emotion tied up in some of this. People have emotion tied up in their unit. Maybe they've had it for a while. It's special to them, but they can't go camping anymore for a variety of different reasons. We want to be able to help them navigate through that. And the other thing that we can do then is we take care of handling all the people that want to see that unit. We field all the phone calls. We field all the email leads. We take care of that with our team, and we sell that unit for them. And again, as you stated, we don't get any money up front for that unit, right? We get our money when that unit sells. So it behooves us to try to sell that not just for any price, but for the most money it should bring in the market. And that's why we do that analysis. And that's why we sit down, and I think of us as more like a consultant or a real estate agent does with property. Most people will do a real estate analysis of the neighborhoods and the area and what units or what houses have sold for in that neighborhood, and so on and so forth, so that they can help you in pricing your home properly. We do that in helping people price their RV properly.
And Scott, the thing is, your data, I don't know of anyone else that has better real-time data on sales figures than PPL, because you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different RVs in all of your different dealerships. You don't have to wait till the next quarterly book comes out to look at what was the value. You know what the current value is. Now, speaking about current, what's going on in the used market? I know y'all just came off of a big sale mid-August. How did the sale go, and what's it looking like if I'm a seller right now?
I will tell everyone this. The sale went well. We did a really good job on the sale. We had a lot of activity. We made a lot of sales. We're up this year so far in sales by a significant amount, about 11% over last year. I will tell anyone who's selling their RV, the best time to sell is always right now. And I don't care when you come to me for that information. I'm always going to tell you now is always better than later. Because we're going to get the most for your money now, or the most for your RV right now, than we are at any other time. Right now, the season is good for used. We're seeing a lot of leads coming in from our website. We have a huge website that harvests a lot of leads from people that are clicking on the units that are on our website, and we're seeing a lot of activity there. And we're also seeing a lot of sellers coming through there that are looking to, interested in selling. So they're wanting to get values. Our people are reaching out to them, having those conversations. Our listings this month in August are doing extremely well. So our inventories are starting to get a little bit bigger right now because people are looking at this as a good time to sell and buy. So
the thing is, I look at it, some people that are watching today's video, they may be well, of course it's the best time to buy or the best time to sell. That's because it's in his best interest. But think about it. Honestly, think about, you're dealing with a depreciating asset, an economy that you don't know what's going to happen with the economy. You don't know. And if you aren't sure if now is the right time to sell, you better look ahead to the next 6 months, because what's going to happen? That's why I tell people, if you're on the fence, you can sell through it. Go do it on your own if you want to. I recommend PPL for many, many reasons, but don't wait to do it. Do it now. And if you're going to buy an RV, it's a buyer's market. I mean, there's a lot of inventory out there. You can get a smoking deal if you're a smart shopper. Am I wrong in saying that?
no, you're absolutely correct. You can get a great deal if you're a smart shopper. And I think the way we look at it is we want to price all of the units on our lot. Um, I don't want to say over aggressively. We want to be at the top edge of the market, but not over the top edge of the market. We want to be just under the top edge of the market, because that starts the conversation with a potential buyer. Most buyers will look at a unit on our website and they will say, that's priced pretty good. That's the floor plan I'm interested in. That's the make and model that I'm looking for. Let me click on this and get some more information. And that's what you have to do in this particular environment, is you have to be priced right in order for you to get the activity that it requires to get that buyer interested. And so we're able to sit down with our sellers and have those conversations. We're going to give them a range of where we think this unit is going to sell. And again, we're going to start somewhere near the top edge of that range, but not over the top edge of that range. And typically we're usually somewhere in the middle when we end up selling that. The seller's happy, the buyer's happy, both parties then got a good deal, and everybody walks away accomplishing what they wanted. And I think that's the key to this, and it's like I said, I keep going back to the real estate example. If you are listing your house, your real estate agent is going to give you a lot of data and a lot of information to help you price that house to sell. And I guarantee you, they're going to say your house is going to sell somewhere between here and here, and we're going to price it here. And most of the time, that's what starts the activity. The first week, if you get a lot of activity, you're probably priced right. If you don't get enough activity, if you don't get any activity, we're probably priced a little too high. And so we got to really stay in tune with that. And we do with our sellers. We have a constant cadence with them that we're talking to them on at a minimum of every 21 days. Every 21 days, we're having contact and we're telling them what's going on with their unit.
Because you don't want a unit just to sit there. You want it,
No.
you want it off. You want another one coming on in. So if something's dead after 21 days, you got to have a heart to heart with the seller, and they got to come to terms with reality. You were talking about it being an emotional transaction sometimes for buyers and sellers. I can certainly understand that. That's one of the things your employees have to work with, because they're working with both parties, the seller and the buyer. Is that a difficult thing for them to do?
We teach that. We train our people, but we're fortunate right now. Our seller team, the team that deals with the seller, we've got a lot of experience in that area. We have a lot of appointment agents that do the initial contacting of the lead, and they have a lot of experience in talking through our process on the telephone. We have a great group, and they will explain it in full. Their job basically is to give them the proper information and then get them an appointment to come in so they can meet with one of our listing appraisers and one of our listing agents. And those folks then go out and they actually do the final inspection on the unit and come to an agreement on where we're going to be on price. And they sit down. That process takes a little bit of time. because we're walking through the unit. We're looking for the things that are going to enhance that sale, or things that people would be looking for. And then we're also looking for things that might detract, maybe some cosmetic issues or whatever. But we're going to give them a list of things that might cause an issue, and then we want to make sure, based on the condition of the unit, that we have the proper pricing in place. So our listings are up, like I said, a huge amount this year. I thought it was really interesting because 2023 was the best year for listings that we've ever had as a company. We had more listings last year than we ever had. And by a significant amount, we were up 25% in listings from the year before. Think about what happened in 21 and 22. In 21 and 22, those were the COVID years, right? Those were the years that sales exploded because people wanted to buy RVs to go camping because they couldn't fly anywhere. They couldn't go on cruises. They couldn't stay in hotels. The only way they could vacation was in a camper, right? In an RV. And so the sales of RVs went bananas. Well, now that more traditional ways of going on vacation have come back to normal, now some of those people are wanting to get rid of those. So our listings in 2023 exploded by about 28%, 25 to 28%.
Are they up
this
again?
year? This year we're up another 10% over last year. So we've had 2 increases in a row of listings, and so we're seeing that. But I'm also seeing, like we were talking about, the demand for used inventory is still good for us. It's been really, really good. And I'm excited about that because that means buyers are still out there. Buyers are still interested. They're still wanting to go camping. And most of these are still first-time buyers, which is even more exciting because we're seeing a lot of people purchasing without having trades. If they don't have a trade, we're asking the question, is this your first RV? Now, most of them, it's a yes, but some of them, it's like, no, I sold my RV on my own, or I sold it to a family member or whatever. But, most of these people are first-time buyers, which is exciting because we're seeing people still coming into the market that weren't traditionally there before.
While some people may see these chats with Scott as nothing more than a sales pitch for PPL, I respectfully suggest that you look at it a different way. Of course, I'd love you to do business with them, but only if you believe they are the right fit for you. When I say that I believe in their business model, I think that no one is better at consignment sales. I mean it. And I honestly believe that the more you look into dealers who do consignment RV sales, the better PPL looks. When I say they have an outstanding website, I'm telling you, it is fantastic, and you will see all kinds of RVs, used RVs for sale right now. Their website is another fantastic resource for RV buyers or sellers, either one, and that QR code that you see on the screen right down here, for you folks watching on TV, will get you to my website where you'll be able to connect with PPL and other RV dealers I trust. If you're watching on a mobile device or on your computer, just click on the word "more" in the description of this video down below. By the way, in part 2 of my visit with Scott, I start off asking him a rather sensitive question. It's one that many people think about asking, but few actually do. So stay tuned for part 2. For now, though, let me know where you're watching today's video from and your thoughts on the best way to buy a used RV. Is it to scan RV Trader and make dozens and dozens of phone calls? Is it to keep following Facebook Marketplace and hope you're not seeing a fake ad by some scammer? Or, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the best way to buy a good used RV? Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today, or at least that you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you next time.